Okay, Mary, now we're sitting here in front of the computer, and I have to say I already have the site bookmarked in my favorites list. So
Okay.
we're looking at the home page to our library, Muskegon Area District Library, and the Library for the Blind link is over there for people who want to go and learn more about this service. But for us, we're going to go up to my favorites, and we're going to click on BARD, and I have brought up an instruction page, and just under the quick links, well, it says welcome to BARD, Braille and Audio Reading Download from the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. The first thing is resting the cursor on the website link. When I click on that, I am going to bring up the page, and it has our library's name, Muskegon Area District Library for the Blind, and up in the left-hand corner it says MCB, Michigan Commission for the Blind, because they are kind of our parent organization. We're part of the National Library Service, but when you sign up for BARD, someone in Lansing actually approves the application. When the service was first begun, everything was done through Washington, and again, as they changed and as it expanded and the number of people using it grew, they let the individual states, the regional and sub-regional libraries, approve their own applications. Now, I already have an account with BARD, but if you didn't have an account, you would click right here where it says BARD Application Instructions, because it does tell you that access to the website is restricted to eligible users, eligible readers. So you need a login ID and a password to access it. And if you don't have them, then you need to apply. So I click on the application link, and it has a full description. It's intended for people who are signed up for the Library Service for the Blind, which you are, but you have to fill out the application completely. You enter your information in the boxes on the screen, and then you hit submit, and if you're approved, you should get some kind of an email back, in your own email, in a couple of days. I don't receive a copy of that email that contains your temporary password and the link to the site. I just receive an email saying that you've been notified.
Okay.
So just so you can see what's involved, because I don't know if you have a computer or not. Some people don't have a computer, but they have a family member who has internet access and an email account.
There are all kinds of them in my family.
And so I'll sign up the person who receives the service using the email of the family member who's going to help download the books. So I click on BARD application for individuals, and the first thing that comes up is to tell me that I need to select a library. And these are libraries in Michigan that are Service for the Blind libraries. So I select ours, Muskegon Area District Library, and I'm going to click on Submit, and that will bring up the application itself. And we would type in, I can type in some of the information. We type in your first name and your last name in the next box, your address, and there's room for more than if you have an apartment number and a street address, there are 2 lines. And I would fill out Muskegon and the zip code. Then that's the first part. Then I scroll down, and here's where it asks for a person's email address. And so you type it in on the first line, and then it asks you to type it again on the second line to confirm it. It asks you what type of player you're going to be using, because whatever player you use is registered to play those materials back. Now, you have the standard talking book player,
Okay.
an LS digital talking book player.
That's what I've got.
But there are other choices. People buy their own players, or maybe they have a player that they are loaned through their school. And so these are the different brands of other players that you can now register to use for this service. If you have a player from us and you have one of these other brands that you use from school, and so you have two players you'd be using, you can register both of your players. But to start the service, you can only register one. So the default player is the one that you have. And so you would highlight that. And after you finish completing the application, then you click on the word submit. And you get a note back in a moment. The screen changes and it will tell you, thank you for your application. You'll hear something soon. Okay, so that's how you apply for the service. I'm going to back out, and I'm already registered, or the library is. So I'm going to log on so that you can see how the site looks when it comes up. Okay, so it asks me for my email address. Okay, and now it's going to ask me for my password. And just like any other site, you can't see what you're typing, just a series of little dots. And then I click on the word login, and I wait a moment. There we are, Bard main page. And there are different ways to find your books. If you're interested in books they recently added, you would click on that. Or maybe you're curious to see what everybody else is downloading, so you could go to most popular books. There is a search feature, and if you have some terms, you put them in and click on go. Or perhaps you have a favorite author and you want to know what they've entered into Bard by your favorite author. So you can select a letter. You can select by book title or by subject. They have just begun to add this digital foreign language collection, and I haven't really used that one at all yet to try it out. But this is for searching for books. Then they also have a magazine search. You can click on that and find what magazines have recently been added, or you can select from the list of the magazines they already have if you want to see what's available. Now, I mentioned that sometimes they upgrade the software or the guts of your player.
Yes.
And under additional links, they have latest digital talking book machine firmware and installation instructions. And actually, they did one in March of this year, just last month, but this still has the October 2011.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is where you would go to download upgrades for your machine. If you have questions, because when you're first trying it out, you do have lots of questions. Well, how do I do this? What can I get? So you can go to help and get a list of frequently asked questions and instructions. And there are the initial instructions for support, and the telephone number at the site is actually in Lansing. Or if you want to email for help, this is the tech person that you would email with a question. And then there are other things you can click on and read about. And then if we go back to where we were, frequently asked questions, all kinds of questions. And how to download, how to find books, what books and magazines are available, how do I change my password, a variety of things, and what your password should contain. Now, I'm going to back up. So these are things that you can click on and read about on the screen on your computer. Or if you have JAWS or some kind of talking software, it would speak to you when you click on it.